Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Are You Screening podcast. I am your host, AreYouScreening.com's own Mark Eastman, and with me, as always, is co-host extraordinaire Shane Leonard.
Hello.
And for people who happen to watch this on YouTube, sorry about shaking the camera a lot.
No, it's okay.
Anyway, this week, obviously, the Odyssey.
Yeah.
Which is the crazy huge news and is everything for everyone.
And it's splitting
whatever the hell.
It's splitting the world. People are picking camps.
It is splitting the world in the weirdest way.
In ways I didn't think it was going to do it. Yeah.
That has split the world in a long time.
Yeah.
And we're also going to cover Masters of the Universe, mainly because right now, mainly because, we did not hit that when it first hit theaters, and it's just come out to where it's on Prime.
I think it's Prime, I think.
So it's hey, everyone can watch it now.
But it's also gods and sorcery and
it's
sort of Odyssey, Odyssey-ish.
in its own weird way.
Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, but definitely the Odyssey is splitting people up. And I'm not going to do any news or anything right now because we want to, as we constantly say, keep this to
tight,
better time frame.
Yeah.
But before we jump into either of these movies, I do want to just mention, because I might forget it, I do want to mention the Odyssey, and this ties in wonderfully to you just saying that it splits everyone.
Yeah.
Because I want to mention Ryan Hurst, who plays Mentor.
Yeah.
And I want to, the reasons I want to mention him are threefold.
Okay, here we go. Excuse me.
Because much of the world has slept on Ryan Hurst, I think. And he was in, oh my God, what's the name of the show? The Sons of Anarchy.
Right.
He was Opie in Sons of Anarchy. Yep. And Sons of Anarchy, not to just go off on a huge tangent, Sons of Anarchy was a really good show for a while.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't. And and
then it just stopped.
What happened for me anyway? I don't remember exactly how many seasons there are, but basically the first half of its run, I think it was a really good show. And I think it was it was well written. It was just amazingly acted to a degree that no one gives it proper credit for, I think. Because, it's this dumb biker show and whatever, right?
Yeah.
But people were good. And Ryan Hurst, I think, was just great in that show. And when he had a chance, he was doing great acting.
He stood up.
I mean, he was really good. Anyway, so there's that show. And then after that, I don't know, certain people who maybe created it and wrote it or not, got just weird delusions of grandeur. And anyway, and the second reason I want to mention it is because Ryan Hurst, unfortunately, it's so horrific a story to me, because I think he's great and I think he'd be perfect. He was, in God of War, and recently is not now because he injured himself. Yeah. And I forget what it was. I want to say bicep. He tore his bicep horrifically.
Yeah.
Takes months to heal. And now, we can't sleep on production of the show for 6 months while you heal. And,
how do you write him into not using his arm? And
and then the third reason that it makes sense is because he's Mentor, and I swear to God, the things that come up about this movie, I cannot even believe for a second the amount of times I have seen people on social media complain that his name is Mentor. Like Christopher Nolan did it. And if you don't have your finger on the pulse, I mean, I swear I have seen it from dozens and dozens and dozens of people. that complain in some way, kind of like, oh, Christopher Nolan makes a movie and there's a guy who's a mentor and his name is what? Mentor. And like the number of people who have to comment on these people or whatever, like it's just it's so sad. It's like
funny and then it isn't.
Brain,
yeah, it's so bad it's not even funny.
Yeah. So anyway, so there's that.
Yeah.
And we'll get into the Odyssey first. I think we're gonna go Masters of the Universe.
Yeah.
And we will rate and review Masters of the Universe at some point.
Right.
But before we even do that, I just feel like I have to say, I cannot believe this movie got made. There is no world in which I understand
this was getting greenlit.
What is happening in the universe. And not only because I can't figure out who this movie is for.
Yeah.
Because the movie is on its best day.
Right.
For me, when I was 8 years old.
Yep.
There are no that in existence anymore.
That's because that version of you wasn't even nostalgic because you were living the nostalgia.
Right.
And as an adult, you're not terribly like nostalgic for that kind of thing, if anything, but like that kind of thing. Because I was going to say it's made for us on some level to look back on. Oh, yeah, we'd come home from school and that was a cartoon we watched.
Right.
And those were toys we asked for and whatever. But I wondered if it wasn't an attempt to spearhead like this new reinvention. Because Hollywood doesn't do anything original. They just redo old things, right? So were we going to get Mask and Silverhawks and Thundercats? And was this the first step of that MCU for them? Like, I don't know, but who in the hell
I don't know, but
said this is good, let's go and let's get Idris Elba, let's get Jared Leto, let's
crazy
bring these people in.
It's so crazy, all the people who are in this.
Allison Brie, like
I mean everyone's in it. Kristen Wiig's in it.
Marina Baccarin is in it. I mean, it's just like it goes on.
It's just such a weird thing.
Yeah.
And then the guy who's He-Man is like, Christ, what was that thing? The Idea of You he was in.
Yeah.
And so he's like, he's hip to some other, audience or whatever.
Yeah.
But nobody before this movie went into production and people started talking about it, right?
Right.
Nobody anywhere was like, I love He-Man still. Or I'm 8 to 10 years old and I'm clearly a huge He-Man fan.
Right.
Because how could you be? There's no He-Man. You've got, maybe your parents are forcing you to watch the old show or something. Yep. But how many people is that? And there's no big movement where this goes, hey, we better make a He-Man movie, right? Like it's so weird that you would pull this out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And it would be slightly different if this movie was not for 8-year-olds, but was more for, was a different version of things where like we get animated movies that are actually kind of for everyone, right? Like Pixar is famous for type of things, or like Shrek, or that
DreamWorks
realm
stuff,
of thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
But this is not.
And it's listed PG-13
at all.
Just because of the content, but not the intent.
Right.
Like that's the big difference there. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it's it is so super weird. And once again, before we go through it's so weird because like if you look at, it's weird enough you start looking at all the stars.
Yeah.
And you go, how the hell did they get all these stars? How much money of this movie is going into this? But also, it's got, you've got many writers on this.
Several.
Like you've got Chris Butler, and then you've got Aaron and Adam Nee, I think. Who all worked on like Coraline, Paranorman, Missing Link, like as animators.
Yeah.
And then moved on to, honestly, not that much, but there's the Lost City movie.
Right.
You know, somebody directed Bumblebee or something, you know, whatever.
Yep.
The director of the movie is Travis Knight, who, he directed Kubo and the Two Strings.
Yep.
The other writers wrote for it or were animators on it. Like there's this whole little animator bubble where we're moving on and stepping up. He directed Bumblebee, like I said. He directed this. He's now got the $6 billion Man that he's going to direct.
Yeah.
The other writers are moving on to direct things. They're like on the next Lego movie.
Yeah.
How?
Right.
Based on what?
Where is all this funding?
They did nothing.
Yeah.
No one cares about this movie.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. It is a weird machine that is, you know, bunch of people worked on Paranorman. How and you know, honestly, I have to say, some of these people who are they're going to direct these big movies.
Yeah.
Like $6 Billion Man, next Lego movie.
Right.
For, you know, their huge giant things. They direct this or write this or whatever. And they come from like Coraline, Paranorman, like I said, like that movie. Like what a backwards trajectory of your career.
Yeah.
You started off, you were like doing and somehow you're in charge of like this dumbass thing. Like what is, and then somehow that you get to parlay into being in these huge movies. The industry has gone whack.
Yeah.
Like completely.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. Anyway. So that's the curious history of this movie. And seriously, I don't know. There must be either there's some weird contractual obligation thing where you got to make some other thing before. Now I get to force you to be man at arms in this or, you know, whatever. But also, before we actually jump into this movie slightly and we get more nostalgic, even when I was a kid and there was He-Man, it was still the dumbest thing ever. Yeah. And the whole thing is like the show is really like based on weird toys because somebody bought a factory in China that could make a toy where a guy's neck extends.
And had a lot of edibles.
And you go, all right, man, that's a character now.
Walk into a room and be like, hey, man.
All of these people are, and the weird thing is watching this movie, I was like, you know, there were some guys that weren't this stupid, weren't there?
Right.
Where
Lots.
are they? I could swear there were people in He-Man who were not bonkers Fisto or like whatever the shit. It's like we only pick the characters that somehow we have the rights to still make the toys in the factory or something, like because we've got the machine that makes the giant fist guy. Yeah. So that's who gets to be in the movie.
It's genius.
Crazy.
Some genius suit was like, you can't have these 5. That's for the sequel. Right. You can have Mechaneck and Fisto and, you know, and somebody originally walked into a room and was like, hey, man, Moss Man. Yeah. That's the next guy. We're going to make Moss Man. They're like, what?
But we're going to get rid of him.
He's covered with moss. Kids will love it, you know?
Yeah. All right. So that's enough of bashing on the production of this movie.
Well, now you got me thinking, even before we, you know, stepping onto this, even just as a dumb side note, I'm thinking of the $6 billion Man. Yeah. And I'm like, all right, your first shot is Ryan Gosling. Good luck. He's probably, maybe, I don't know, maybe he's Fall Guy, $6 billion Man. Then you go, who's the next guy that's sort of like that, but we can afford? And you're like, Glenn Powell, you know, and then you're just starting to work your way down that list of who is going to be Steve Austin.
Maybe.
You know.
I don't know. Anyway.
That's a slate of films that are coming. Anyway, Masters of the Universe.
Okay, so Masters of the Universe. And one of the weird things, and as I keep saying and never doing, you know, we want to throw out our ratings fairly quickly. Right. But then we always babble forever.
Yeah, we get excited. We're talking.
But, you know, the thing with this movie, before I even give a rating, is I have to say, going into this, it's such a really weird effort being made
Yeah.
from a lot of different angles, especially like how the people kind of all come together. This whole opening story of growing up on Earth, which we go out of our way to make be a thing,
Right.
and then really don't do anything with, which is odd.
Yeah.
Right? Like, apart from the fact that he wants to talk about everything with people because, I don't know, he took a course. I don't know. But we don't really get into his life.
No.
Like, he got here at 10. He's got a job.
Yep.
Like, what happened?
Right. No.
Like, he just
don't
fell in
pay
a
attention.
swamp.
We just want to hear I have the power.
But it's like, yeah,
Get to
but
it.
how did he get here? He was 10 years old.
Right.
And he just randomly showed up. And what happened? Like, there has to be some trauma.
Right.
Or something. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
It's very weird. But what's also very weird is Skeletor.
Yeah.
And Jared Leto's, potential last film. And the weird, like, kind of guffing for the camera type stuff where a lot of the stuff that happens in Skeletor with Skeletor in this movie is stuff that happens while you're watching a play that one of the leads just quit.
Right. Right. We just
But he's going on this last show.
Yep.
And he's never coming back.
Right.
And he's
Doesn't
just like,
care.
F you.
Doesn't care.
Yeah.
Give me my M&Ms.
Right. And he just
trailer.
goes, and he just goes, this is my line now.
This
And it's like, it's so
I'm going to say this instead.
Weird.
Right.
Like, all of a sudden you think you're in like kind of a groove, you know what's happening, and suddenly Skeletor's in a whole other movie.
The making
where it's
of,
like Abbott and Costello or something.
The making of Masters of that universe is the movie I want to see. I want to see that movie.
Good. That would be good.
All
right.
That's some
anyway,
Blazing Saddles stuff right there.
Anyway, So it's
God, that's funny.
It's what it's about, and I'm not going to rehash like the general story because
He-Man goes to attorney, reclaim his royal birthright. Power of Grayskull.
I gave this movie 1.5.
I was pretty close with that on you.
And as I frequently say, it was lucky to get it.
Yeah.
And the only reason it got even that was that, I swear to God, there are some times that I was enjoying Idris Elba.
Yeah. Yeah.
There were like some things in the movie. I would say there's about, this isn't like a real long movie either.
It is though. This is like, wait a minute. This is 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Figure 10 minutes for credits, right? Whatever. Or 8 minutes for credits. I thought the same thing.
Well, it's longer than I thought it was.
It's so strangely long.
It's got that going for it.
And it doesn't do anything
in
that time.
So given that runtime, there is, I would say, probably closing in on like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe even slightly more, but it's hard to put your finger on. Where I was actually watching the movie going, my God, I wish this was in a different movie. Yeah. There'll be like a scene and you go, what?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yep.
If you have this ability
to do that,
why is that not what you're doing? Right. It's not like, He-Man is, you can only watch Ram Man and Evil Lyn. And,
that's right. Ram Man's in it.
And Mechaneck dude just whacking people with his neck.
Lockjaw.
Which is like...
right.
Which is such a, the whole Mechaneck thing is like such a absolutely dumbass thing, right? But you can only watch this movie and like kind of take it so seriously, right?
Yeah.
Especially if this is like what Mechaneck is going to do, right?
Right.
If you have like Ram Man and it's like, I don't know, this guy just has some power to like throw himself and shit, and he's like Juggernaut. He has like this, thing,
massive helmet.
It's like,
all
right. That's not that, completely like goofy, right?
Yeah.
But Mechanic is just goofy.
Yeah.
And unless you have some hell of a backstory you're going to include, Fisto is creepy at best, right?
Yeah.
You can't really make a movie and take any of this crap even a tiny bit seriously, right? But, you know, the cartoon was like, you know, world's better theory of making a story than this nonsense. This is like, as I say repeatedly, and not that, you know, I want to even put He-Man on its best day up against kind of just the entire world of comic books, you know? But this is like a movie made by somebody who hates He-Man and basically goes, okay, this is my job and I need to make money. But the fact that anyone ever liked this really pisses me off. And I'm going to show just how stupid this is. And then, hooray, we have a movie.
It's the directorial version of go clean your room. You're like, oh. Fine.
All right. You want me to clean my room? I'll clean my room.
I'll show you how clean I can get this room.
But given all that, and now we're taking forever, but there were like these times where I was like, oh my God, why can't you just be doing that? Why don't you, you know, I don't know, man, you got like 8 writers. Why can't somebody like flip through this again and go, what if we don't want to make it just a dumbass thing? What if we just did this more? There were some parts, especially with Idris Elba, and there were unfortunately some parts where what he has to do is just so moronic that he can't fix it. But there were parts with him where I was like going, I mean, come on. There was even like a fairly decent part where it's not good enough to count, but there were some parts where Alison Brie is like rolling her eyes at Skeletor. And you're like, oh, I mean, that's almost kind of cool.
Right. And I don't know that that's not Alison Brie rolling her eyes at Jared Leto.
At the fact that
might
she's
not
trapped
be,
in
she
this
might not
movie.
know she's on screen right there. No, it's too easy. It's too easy to swing that hard at all these people. Sometimes you got to eat. You know, sometimes you got a contractual obligation. You got to make a film. Maybe this was sold to them and was better, and it just got hacked up. And I doubt all of that's true. It just looks like a.
But you just want to give them the benefit of the doubt, no matter
because
what.
there are so many people in here who do pretty good work.
Right.
Like, I couldn't believe there were times that I was like, hey, this is a good moment. You know, after a while, and it wasn't like you had to sit through all of it. I gave it a 2.5. I don't even know if I could do that again. But it was for those scenes and for that effort in those scenes. It almost felt like people were just like trying to sabotage. Like, we've seen these films before where people are like, I'm going to make a movie and I'm going to sabotage it for the insurance money. And everybody in it doesn't know that, and you can't tell them that because the moment that it gets out, the whole gig, you know, the jig is up, etc. But it's just sort of like,
and then it doesn't work.
And then they make the best film of all time, and then everybody rescinds and they're like, we were trying to do good work, you know. It just it's weird and strange in the ways that it didn't have to be. As a PG-13 film, I felt like it was overshooting where it needed to be. And I don't really know why it did that, because the things that fall into the PG-13 category don't pay off. They just don't pay off enough. It can't be, I mean, a rated R, Masters of the Universe, no one's going to go for that because there's no money in getting the kids in there.
Right.
When I was really watching it, I thought, man, it sucks that James Gunn is doing what he's doing, because what he did do was great one time. And we've said this before, I'll keep saying it. Guardians of the Galaxy is a good movie.
Yeah.
And it was at a time when maybe people were levying things against the MCU that, like, they're being too serious. They think they're, you know, the Royal Shakespeare Company. Like, what are they doing? Like, it was a necessary breath of fresh air. But the success of Guardians of the Galaxy changed a lot of things, both in that universe, literally in the MCU. Thor became a frat guy, punch drunk, sort of hilarious in a way he wasn't initially. He was very Shakespearean and very serious and deadly. I say that by way of saying this feels like a Guardians of the Galaxy attempt to run Masters of the Universe through it with contemporary quips, because if you set some part of it in Earth, however they justify it, now they can make Earth jokes that we'll get that Eternians would never understand. And that's pretty lazy, but I get it.
Right.
The film is sometimes really strangely preoccupied with, and I like Camila Mendes. You know, I thought she did pretty good in all the work she's ever been in before. She's most known for Riverdale. Man, they focus on her ass anytime they can.
Right.
And gratuitously, like she's like trying to fix a ship, and she's like, I don't know how you get to tell her, like, this is the shot we want.
Right.
Like, you look good in that suit. We got to really show that.
Right.
And do that.
And it's really
awkward. You know, it's sort of like watching Joss Whedon film Gal Gadot for all these weird shots when you see the Snyder version didn't have, I know I'm scattered all over the place, but those were very strange and they stood out to me. You run this through a comedic filter of Earth jokes and weird things. Like, they go off on an adult line of humor with Fisto that I'm like, what are you guys doing?
Exactly.
Like, this is not the subtlety that you think Shrek or Toy Story has for adult jokes while kids are watching something different.
Right, and
they're
different adult jokes.
Right, and this is like when your kid just goes, "What's a Fisto?" and you're like, "What have you been watching?"
Right.
Masters of the Universe, you know. So it tried. It genuinely seemed like it was trying to have fun with itself. It just doesn't have enough fun with itself to justify 2 hours and 20 minutes. And the way that they just sort of misuse everything, I felt so bad watching Idris do some things. And I'm like, but look at this guy. Forget the best roles he's ever been in. Show this, because that's how professional he is.
Right.
He's like, I'm going to make this the best man at war ever. And I'm going to do the best that I can, you know. So I can't suggest watching this to anybody our age or younger. There's no nostalgia here. It's just sort of weird and uncomfortable. And I didn't even watch it all in one sitting. I was so bored with it. I stopped it, did some other things, came back later, checked out another half hour. I'm like, this isn't getting any better.
Right.
Like, I think it was 4 sittings, maybe 3. And I think that automatically takes away like 4 stars no matter what.
Right.
Like, if you can't keep me watching your film, that sucks. So I would say skip this.
Yeah, and I think, you know, as far as the Idris Elba thing, like, you know, a lot of times you can give a huge break if you can convince yourself that a lot of these people were like, you know, I'm just going to make a kids movie and it's just for kids, and that's
cool.
Okay. There can be movies that are just for kids. And so, you know, I'll sign on to that and we'll do it. But I don't think you get that leeway with this movie.
Yeah, right.
It's too stupid. It's not actually for any kids.
No.
What kid is it for?
Right. Yeah.
There's no He-Man.
This kid.
And
I'm not. Yeah.
There's no He-Man fans all over the place. You're not going into stores and there's He-Man merch like everywhere all the time. Like before this movie.
Right.
I mean, somebody's probably selling some He-Man
some
crap
things
now or something. But it's
right.
like, I mean, I don't know. It's just so far removed from any potential audience. Like I said, I just have no idea who it's for.
Yeah. No, I agree.
All right. That's enough of that. Don't go
Yeah.
see that. And we got to do the Odyssey.
On the fly, real quick before the Odyssey, I expect I know the answer, but now that we have 2 Masters of the Universe films to compare, Dolph Lundgren.
Oh, it's
Idris
so
Elba.
horrible that he was in this too.
That was
just drove
awful.
me nuts.
It's awful. I meant to bring that up too, but I'm assuming the Dolph Lundgren film is the better Masters of the Universe film.
The Dolph Lundgren film was not actually all that bad.
It's not bad.
It wasn't.
It takes itself
wasn't
real
good.
seriously.
It wasn't
Yeah.
real good,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it wasn't
like this.
anything to be bashing on
Yeah,
all the time.
I
It
can't
was
believe
like
he's
it
in
was
this.
that movie was like, look, there's a bunch of kids who are fans of this,
Right.
so
Let's
let's
do
give
it.
them
Right.
something.
Let's
And
run
it was
It's fine.
fine. I mean, it's not like I've seen it recently, so
Neither have I.
So,
I haven't
but
either.
as far as I recall. Anyway, all right,
Odyssey.
the Odyssey. So I'm not going to explain the story of the Odyssey.
No?
No.
Okay.
What I am going to do is this is going to be like a weird movie. We have the potential to have like one of our biggest differences ever. Not that we necessarily will, But I'm just going to say,
I know you hated this.
I'm just going to say right off the bat,
Yeah.
no, this is a 10. I
Yeah.
gave it a 10.
Yeah.
It's, but what I am going to say, because
That's too bad.
this connects to,
Right.
to the whole business of telling the story of the Odyssey.
Right.
And the reason I want to bring it up, there is a point, and it's pretty far through the movie. So, I almost feel like in a little bit of a way it's kind of spoilery, but also I reject the idea that there's any such thing as spoiling this,
Not for this.
right?
Yeah. Right. Hang on a sec. This is like so old and everything is so derivative of the Odyssey. Right.
But the thing that is weird, or the thing that struck me, is as you're going through this movie, and before we even saw this, I was talking about how are they going to do all the stuff in the Odyssey?
Yeah.
You need like a 10-hour movie.
Yeah.
But the stuff that happens in the movie is, I would say, basically like so on point of like sticking with what the story is.
Yeah.
And, is stuff exactly perfect? No. But nothing is, really like changed in a way that means anything. It's
Yeah.
sticking with the story,
Yeah.
right? It's not like Christopher Nolan going, I have a better idea.
Right.
kind of
Right.
a thing. And I'm going to change all this shit. And,
Yeah. This is what I would have had.
whatever, right? It's like goes right with it. And then after going through that for a really long time, then all of a sudden, him leaving Calypso is absolutely different from what happens in the Odyssey.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the shit just happened?
You literally did that in the theater. You're like, whoa, what? And I'm like, uh-oh.
And it's weird, right? Because it's so far into the movie. And if things had been a little bit different more
Yeah.
going into it, then you'd go, well, I mean, all right.
Yeah.
For many reasons, you didn't want to make the movie another half hour longer.
Yep.
You didn't want to like introduce other gods and
Yeah.
things and whatever. And it's kind of, there's a certain amount of stuff where, I don't know, because like, Helen of Troy, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't explain who she is at all.
No.
We don't tell the story of the gods and
Nope.
yada yada.
Nothing. Not even a thought. Yeah.
So it seems like we could have done it the way that it actually happens and just went,
yeah.
here it is.
Here we go.
Just like
Uh-huh.
with not explaining Helen of Troy, right?
Right.
But what happens is more, gods are sent. Gods send other gods to tell Calypso to let him go,
Right.
and then blah, 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 blah. And then like there's a whole thing. And in this, it's like, she decides to like let him figure out that he wants to leave.
Right.
And it took 7 years, and
Right.
now he's ready to leave because he had all this
Yeah.
friggin' inner turmoil.
The only way he
that
could
she
leave is
thought
if he
that
figures it
blah,
out.
blah,
Yeah.
blah. And I'm like, wait, what? But like out of nowhere, right? If
Yeah.
we'd have been doing other things, changing things,
Yeah.
even if they change stuff, just a little bit or
Yeah.
whatever, then you'd like be ready for it, right?
Right.
But you watch a movie for all this time that
Is
just
mostly on
sticks
track.
with it,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
And then all of a sudden you go, bing, and it's like, wow. And that was like
Yeah.
jarring.
Yeah.
Anyway, I give it a 10, and I don't want to talk about that forever, but that's it. It's the story. We know what's happening. It's just to speak very generically about it. It's weirdly accurate, and then some of the stuff is weird, and I didn't like some of the special effects because I'm like, how much friggin' money does your movie need before your special effects don't look bad, right?
Right. Right.
Anyway, I give it a 10.
I wondered because I saw the film with you and I saw a couple of those like hands up
Moments.
like, "Ugh." And I went, God, but that's not, I get it. And it's been a while since I've reread it.
Right.
It's fresh in my memory, not in my mind. Like it got pretty clear early on that this wasn't maybe going to be Homer's Odyssey, but it was going to be Christopher Nolan's Odyssey. And as a Christopher Nolan fan, which we both are, for the most part, yeah, I'm all right with that.
Yeah.
And Nolan's very famous for practical imagery, not a lot of CGI, if you can get away with it. And I'm just thinking, okay, I saw Dunkirk, and I know what, if you just take the sort of breaks off, like what you want to do and the scope of things, like, are you going to be able to do that with the Odyssey, though, and make it look like what's in your head? And I'll be damned. I guess he did.
Right.
And I think he probably nailed most of that. If I had any qualms, they're small.
Yeah.
I'm at a 9 here, and there's not many qualms that make it sort of detrimental to being more than that. I kind of want to see it again, but not right away.
Right.
Because I don't feel like whatever I want to be better or different is going to be readily apparent right away. Like it has to sit for a while. I thought the casting, takes a browbeating from all kinds of people, and it was never going to be right for everybody anyway. I don't really think there were any big mistakes there. I had a lot of trouble with Tom Holland, not because of any bad work that he did, but because it was just hard not to see him as Spider-Man, not because that's also coming out. There was maybe a gear there where he got into on a couple of occasions that I didn't see him. And then other times I just was like, well, that's Tom acting, walking around. Right. And that sounds like he did something wrong. He didn't. I don't know. I don't know what happened there, but with others, like with John Bernthal, with Damon, with Hathaway, with everybody else, I was sort of like, man, look at them go.
Right.
Like they're doing it. And again, that's not Tom doing a bad job. It was just, for me, I just kept looking at him. I'm like, well, it's Spider-Man, it's Tom Holland in this film. But anyway, the one knock against Nolan that I seem to think sometimes he has now more, from The Dark Knight Rises into Tenet into this, but skipping like Dunkirk, so it's not always there, is he sets up this big piece for the end, and sometimes there's no urgency in it, or the timing of it just feels a little off. By the end of the film, when Odysseus gets back and we have closed the doors and we're just waiting for everything to happen, there's like 5, 6, 7 extra minutes of just waiting that I think is supposed to increase the tension, and it's letting the air out of the room instead.
Yeah.
For me, it's mistimed just in a weird way. And I'm not even nitpicking like, oh, there were 3 scenes with Pattinson, who's awesome in this. Like, everybody's so good. It's just the end didn't hit quite the way I wanted it to, when one of the most perfect throwaway moments happens just before he walks in, and Odysseus sees his dog, Argus.
Right.
And it's the most easy, just disposable moment, and it means something because it's effective. And I watch that happen for 11 seconds or so, and I'm like, son of a bitch, look at this. Like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And then later I'm just sort of waiting for something else to happen, which is a weird gripe because, again, I give it a 9. Yeah. I have the idea that this could probably, when I see it again, be 9.5 or maybe 10. I watched that feeling not awe, but impressed over what he focused on too. It wasn't all gods and monsters. It was a lot of monsters.
Right. And
you also realize that the humans are the monsters, but dealing with Cersei, Samantha Morton is frightening. Dealing with the Cyclops, dealing with the things that I thought were going to be like, we're going to breeze over these because practical effects aren't going to work. Man, sorry, Chris, I was wrong. Like that worked all over the place. Like, it was so fantastically fun to watch and to hear.
Right.
I heard somebody kick it back to you. I heard somebody say they are still unable to not hear the Cyclops' scream because it was so frightening.
Right.
And I'm like, that's a weird noise. Like, whoever did the sound on this, I'm blanking on. But man, that sound was awful. Like, great in a way, great in every way, but awful in like the scariest of ways. But yeah, I this is so much fun. Like, I'm really looking forward to seeing it again whenever that happens.
Yeah, I think like you said with the end, I kind of have a problem with the end, and it's probably just a very personal thing because And if you've listened to the show, you know that like I often have a problem with fighting in movies.
Yeah.
And not to go on about this forever right now, because I don't need to, do this whole thing. But I feel like there is a weird connection to people in society being kind of stupid
Yeah.
about serious things in the world and how they get portrayed in movies, right? Like, there are plenty of people who, even though they're hard to press on it, believe that how fights happen is how it happens in the movies, because they've never been in one.
Right.
And I think this one it's close. Okay. It's close to me liking it,
Yeah.
but it's too long,
Yeah.
because that isn't how that would happen. Right.
Right.
I mean, and who knows? I don't remember exactly what the text says.
Oh, and
right?
No, I can't remember the poem and how it.
I don't remember what exactly happens, and maybe there's a case for going, well, I mean, he's just doing whatever.
Right, yeah.
But it goes on too long. And as the fight goes on, and people start kneeling
Yep.
and going, okay, I'm out. I don't want in this anymore. Please don't also kill me. I'm just going to kneel, and I don't want to be involved. That would have been way more people way faster.
Oh, yeah. Lots.
Especially,
Yeah.
and, you got to take everything into account maybe when you're trying to do this. I don't know why Christopher Nolan thinks that the way that this plays out in the film is somehow the better, more dramatic, cooler version of this fight or whatever. But even if you take out where we are in the setting, way more people stop fighting.
Oh, yeah.
After all these people just get friggin' slaughtered in front of them.
Half the room is in shock immediately.
Right.
A third of the others kneel immediately. Like there's only like 5 or 7.
Like that just would not. These are not even, for the most part, people who are real soldiers,
combative,
real fighters.
They're there for opportunity,
right?
free food and jokes and bar behavior.
They're goofy bullies who don't actually spend a lot of their time in fights almost dying. Right.
Yeah.
They are like these dandies and whatever.
Yeah.
And even apart from that, now put in the setting and the world we're in.
Right.
And, Odysseus might be God.
Right.
And he's just slaughtered like 25 people in like 30 seconds.
Warming up.
And I'm still here.
Yeah.
And he seems like he's still fine.
Right.
So many people are out of that fight immediately. Anyway, that's like very nitpicky.
Yeah.
But for me personally, it bugs me. But what I am going to say, and we're not going to go on too much longer, but what I do want to say is there's so much about this movie that is like that. I'm so glad Christopher Nolan did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm pretty glad that it got made.
Yeah.
Which is not something that I would have said immediately upon hearing someone's making the Odyssey.
Right. Right.
But this could have been so far wrong.
Oh yeah.
By so many other people, right? And if it had not been Christopher Nolan making this, even though I don't love some of his recent movies.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
I really love most of his older movies.
Oh yeah.
Right. But I did not love Dunkirk, and I did not, love some of the other stuff he's done. Okay. But, there are so many other people who would have made this movie where we would not be actually focused on revealing the themes.
Yeah.
And what the story is actually about.
Yeah.
And how much attention do you put on, like all the cool fighting and, stuff is happening versus like, what are we just saying about people? And not in the most obvious ways either, right? Like there are some that are just like, almost silly how obvious we're trying to make things.
Yeah.
But in the, actual deeper things of who he thinks he is from start to finish, and like who lands on the shore when he gets back home.
Yeah.
And there's so much of that just easily no one would pay the slightest bit of attention to. We just move on with the story and let's have another fight scene and stuff like that. This is like the version of the Odyssey when you actually have a really cool teacher in high school.
Yeah.
Or who
opens it up
takes
and
like
says,
Shakespeare or the Odyssey or something like that and goes, you think this is some boring ass thing because it's Shakespeare. And, I need to disabuse you of that idea.
Right.
And it is, and like this movie, you get all the crazy adventure and realize that it's not some, whatever. Old people like this because they're stupid.
Right.
Or whatever.
He's not afraid to let a scene breathe. And he's not afraid to let a scene that needs dialogue have it. But also, it's not a Tarantino film. They weren't quippy.
Right.
If anything that I definitely remember is Homer's Odysseus is more cunning, more mentally. Not that he's a physical lout, but he's just more like, and not trickster. He's not Bugs Bunny, but he's just talking in and out of things, and sometimes just like showing people how intelligent he is enough to get them to defer.
Right.
And Nolan's Odysseus is not quite Jason Bourne. He's very introspective, but he feels the weight and the regret of the choices that he's made as part of like this punishment he doesn't know will ever end. Like, it's just, there's a lot of layers here that could have, like you said, if I had seen, and again, no offense to the fans, but like if Brett Ratner were doing the Odyssey,
right.
I'm like, all right, I kind of think I know what version of that film I'm going to get. You tell me Christopher Nolan's doing the Odyssey, I hope I get the version in my mind that Christopher Nolan is going to give me, because it's going to have space and time and sound and effort, and it's all going to pay off if you just hang on.
Right.
And it does. It does all of that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think especially because a lot of the actors are awesome. Matt Damon, no matter how much attention he gets for this, will not get enough.
No, he won't.
Especially for several scenes, most of which, as you even mentioned, like one of them, could be a little longer. Maybe they don't all need to be longer.
Yeah.
But they definitely like could have been cooler, where he is actually weirdly doing awesome acting that no one will pay attention to. Like the dog scene is one. There's also when they're on the ship and they decide to, turn away and the 6 people have to die. He is so good in that scene.
Yep.
And it's like so fast.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know. And before we decide that we're done talking about this and get out, I do have to say, though, the one thing that's a little weird about this movie is it is going to be insanely hard for this to not win Best Picture for the exact same reason Titanic won Best Picture.
Yeah.
Because everyone worked on this film.
Right.
There's like, I forget what the exact Titanic number is, but, there must be like 20% of the Academy worked on this movie.
Yeah.
And in today's world of voting, where you have 10, sometimes 11 things nominated for Best Picture, guess what percentage wins, as we keep talking about, right? Every year. The percentage of the winner is, like maybe 18%.
Yeah.
Sometimes there'll be a year where it's actually like very high.
Right.
But I don't know, man. If you work on the Odyssey, are you voting for something else? I don't know, because your movie gets to be the winner. That's you. That's your job.
Yeah.
Right. And you go, I worked on Academy Award winning, yada, yada. Right. So that is actually a weird thing. I feel like, for me, movies can be too big. And then I just don't like it anymore.
Yeah.
Right. There's something
that happens.
It just bugs me that you can actually have such a budget on your movie that you can just go, hire those 5 guys to just sit here.
Right.
Because I have the money and I
Right.
can, right? We had a surprising number of key grips on this movie.
Right.
But
Yeah.
you know, we're holding to the fact that we needed them.
It feels good going into August knowing what the contender is.
Yeah.
Not contenders. This is the one to beat. And
Right.
we've done this before. We've been sometimes in April or June or whatever. We're like, I don't know what can do better than this film. And sometimes something sneaks in.
I don't know what can
but
beat
I've
this
seen
movie
the
for
rest
me.
of the I've seen the rest of the calendar. I don't like, because Spielberg's movies come out.
Right.
Nolan's film is out. It's the one. Like, who else? I mean, Fincher is the only other person who, out of the norm, would have a shot at doing something that would maybe be as good. But I'm like, man, you got your work cut out for you. This thing is awesome.
Right.
It's just awesome.
And it's got like so many bases covered.
Yeah.
Even amongst the people who are not employed by the movie, but for the Academy anyway.
Right. Yeah.
For the Academy Awards, it's got so many bases covered because it's all,
yeah.
you know, deep in Shakespeare, and we like voting for stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's also got like all these stars, and it's got, you know, giant period production kind of thing. It's got like all these boxes checked that people vote for.
Yeah. Right. Already.
And like you said, I know what's coming out the rest of the year, and I don't know what has a chance.
I'll say this real quick as a last parting thing, not because I need to, but I thought also when you were talking about Damon and how he'll never get the credit, I feel kind of that way about some of the other actors too. I thought Anne Hathaway in certain scenes, I don't think she did bad in any of them. There were some scenes like when her son is like, I'm leaving, and she's like, you're going to leave me with all these suitors, and like the range of grief, exhaustion, anger, betrayal, hurt, I'm your queen, shut up. You know, there's a flood of these things, and then there's a reversal of those when she's finally with her family again, and it's all there's a hard emotion, and Anne Hathaway is really good at dropping this. There's a hard emotion that is an emotional, truly emotional relief. Like, everybody's home, I can let go now.
Right.
And that's not easy. It's just sort of like, imagine you're carrying this burden, and now you don't have to carry it anymore, and everyone's like, okay, yeah,
right.
That's not it.
Right.
And does it, and she does it reliably and consistently, even though she's behind like veiled imaging for a lot of it. When she has to perform, she kills it.
Yeah.
And it just helps make that movie, because those scenes have a gravity and a weight that would just be easily phoned in by something else.
Right.
And I think she's not going to get the credit she deserves as well. And I think that probably goes around, man. I'm so happy this film was good.
Yeah.
This was one of those summer films where I was looking at it, I'm like, God, just please be good. I like the years where there are good Nolan movies in them, you know, and this happens to be a good Nolan movie. Great one. So,
all right. So everyone go see that.
Yeah.
And we're going to get out of here because we've gone kind of over, but you know, please.
We're close, but yeah.
Give us a like and subscribe if you are interested in listening to us, and we'll see you next week.
Right.
Thanks.
Bye.